Let's talk about Jill Scott. Jill who? Exactly. I don't remember her either. So she's one of these millionaire entertainment types, was asked to sing at the Essence Music Festival, 3-day festival in New Orleans, happens every year around the 4th of July. Oh, her first album came out like in 2000. It's called Who is Jill Scott? And 23 years later, we still don't know who Jill Scott is. She had another hit album in 2015. So Essence Magazine, in its infinite wisdom, have it right here, asked Jill Scott to sing the national anthem. But Jill Scott didn't sing the national anthem. She didn't sing the black national anthem. Now, isn't that racist? I thought we were supposed to embrace the black national anthem, that was going to be our new anthem. She didn't even do a hip-hop version of our national anthem. No. She decides to add her own lyrics, and wait till you hear these. And then I've got a story for you. Tie it with the topic at hand here. Now, the first thing I noticed when she was doing this is her wardrobe. So she comes out on stage wearing this $1 million wardrobe. She's got like $1 million earrings, jewels in her hair, and she's sitting there preaching about oppression. Saying, all my sisters in the house, all my brothers in the house, because you know we oppressed my ass as you have a net worth of $12 million a year, sweetheart. But she's down with the struggle. So here's the lyrics to her version of the national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the blood in the streets? Where's the blood in the streets? You know, I had to go to the store yesterday afternoon. Well, early evening. It's probably about 7:30. And I was debating whether I wanted to go to the store yesterday or today. I thought, no, let me just go ahead and get this done now, get out of the apartment for a while. So I'm walking down the street, and out of the corner of my eye, I catch a rabbit nibbling on some grass on the side of the road. It was growing up between the cracks of the sidewalk and the curb. And I must have stayed with this thing for about 10 minutes. Now, that's kind of unusual because in this area, you see a lot of these rabbits and stuff, but they're kind of elusive. So you might see them first thing in the morning, maybe late in the afternoon, but if they see you, they scurry away. Well, he didn't do that. He looked at me, I looked at him. I think we had a moment. Because I didn't want him getting hurt, because right there is a sharp turn, sharp corner, and there's a building. I think it's 2 or 3 stories. It's a white building. So when people come down around that corner, if they're not paying attention, they could hit a squirrel or a rabbit, or somebody on a bicycle. So I just want to make sure he was okay. And people were passing by, seeing what I was looking at, and they all saw the rabbit too. But it got me thinking, if a rabbit can find contentment in nibbling on the grass, growing in between the cracks, between the sidewalk and the curb, how much contentment can you find as a human being living in the greatest place on the planet, the United States? Seriously. And the thing that really gets me is Jill Scott or whoever it is, all these celebrities, they get their pennies in a wad when you bring up the fact, hey, you're making $1 million a year. Did I say million dollars? You're making $1 million a year when you're making millions of dollars a year. That's what I meant to say. You're going to preach to all of us about oppression. And I got a question here. Why was Jill Scott chosen to sing the national anthem at the Essence Music Festival? Why couldn't you choose a black sister or brother who's really struggling to try to make it in the entertainment industry? A nobody. A nobody. Can I talk today? A no-name nobody who's just trying to make it. Trying to get their music out there. No, we can't do that. Well, isn't that racist? Isn't that not being fair? I thought this was all about fairness and inclusion and equality. The hypocrisy of these people. Getting back to the lyrics here, pardon me. So it starts at, oh, say, can you see by the blood in the streets? And I didn't see any blood in the streets when I went to the store yesterday. And I live in an area where you have a large native population, okay? And I happen to be part Cherokee. That this place doesn't smile on you, colored child. Which place is that? Are you talking about where they were holding this festival? Are you talking about the United States? Now, apparently she wrote these lyrics 30 years ago. She's just singing them now. Her debut. Whose blood built this land with sweat in their hands. Well, I do have an issue with this because I write music in my spare time and I'm good with words, as you can tell. I think so. Whose blood built this land with sweat in their hands. Shouldn't it read, whose hands and sweat build this land with their blood? I'm just saying. Because I didn't know that blood could build anything. Blood sustains life, but I didn't know it could build things. Maybe I'm missing something here. Just an observation. Just an observation. But we'll die in this place. Are you again talking about where they're having this festival, or are you talking about the United States, Jill? And your memory will be erased. Well, who is erasing whose memory? Got a question for you. Can African Americans in this country, can they vote? Can they run for office? Can they go to the grocery store? Now, granted, you have people that are living in the hood, living in bad circumstances. Okay, I understand that. I've been there myself. All right. So I'm somewhat down with the struggle. And I'm as white as they get. Okay. You can't get any whiter than Irish and German, with some Cherokee mixed in there somewhere. But nobody's erasing anybody's memory. There's no blood in the streets, folks. So I was talking with somebody here online, and they brought up Breonna Taylor. Well, if you go back and you check the case with Breonna Taylor, she wasn't hanging around with the best people. And that's a sad case, what happened with Breonna Taylor. Or George Floyd. And I'm not justifying what happened in those cases, but, you know, you got to be careful who you hang around. In the case of Breonna Taylor. We all know what happened with George Floyd. But that was back in 2020. So where was Jill Scott in 2020? I'd like to know. You mean to tell me that she held on to these lyrics, these important lyrics talking about oppression? Oh, it gets better, folks. It gets better. But she was holding on to these lyrics for 30 years, and we have the George Floyd incident in 2020, and she didn't say anything about it? She didn't come out and sing these lyrics then? What gives, man? What gives? But seriously, can African Americans in this country vote? Can they run for office? Can they go to the grocery store? Can they drive? Travel wherever they want? You know, I just got done doing a train trip about 2-3 weeks ago. Had to go down to Georgia to see Ma, because she had a cancer scare over the past year. She's doing all right. But I got to see Cincinnati and Indianapolis and Omaha and Sioux City. Got to go down and see Georgia. Part of Kentucky. West Virginia. Although I got to say, Charleston is a little kind of, it's getting up there, but remember, it's an old mining town. And there's a lot of great, beautiful places in this thing called the United States. And a lot of great people that I met on the train in this thing called the United States. Black, white, you name it. Although I don't know what's going on in Chicago. Something's going on in Chicago. I don't know if it's something in the water there or just, I don't know. I just got a bad vibe in Chicago. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Although Chicago's got killer deep dish pizza. Getting back to the lyrics again. Oh, say, does this truth hold any weight? I say no, Jill. I say no. Because if African Americans in this country can vote, they can run for office, they can go to the grocery store wherever they want, they can travel wherever they want, they can drive, they can buy whatever homes they want, move to whatever neighborhood they want. Is that to say that there isn't discrimination someplace? I'm sure there is. But guess what? You can find discrimination all over the place. All over the world. See, I think these people are trying to look for utopia, and they're never going to find it. America is not perfect. It's not perfect. Never has been, never will be. But it's the best place to live. You're given the most freedoms here than anywhere else. She ends by saying this: "This is not the land of the free." Now, this is so original. "But the home of the slaves." Pardon me. Home of the slaves. Okay, we had slavery, but that was 150, 160 years ago. And yes, we had Jim Crow. But again, that was done away with how many years ago? Where has Jill Scott been? It's like she's living in the 1960s, 1950s, 1960s. She was at the premiere of Birth of a Nation. That's where she was at. She's doing one of those seances where she's channeling the spirit of Billie Holiday. I'm only joking, folks. I'm only joking. Can you tell I'm having a good time? It's Friday. Got to do the overnight shift tonight. But this just gets me. So she's going to come out there wearing this $1 million wardrobe. And the first question I had about that is, how much did you pay for that wardrobe? And did any of it, even a fraction of the cost of that wardrobe, go to help one black family in need? Probably not. Probably not. But she's going to stand there and talk about oppression as she's worth $12 million. Just like when Oprah Winfrey, remember this, did that interview with that lady with that book called Caste. She's like a prominent professor somewhere making God knows how much a year. She's got tenure. She's talking to Oprah about oppression with this book called Caste. And Oprah is just gloating. I mean, she's just falling all over this book. Unreal, man. Absolutely unreal. So I thought I'd come here and talk about this. But you got to point these people out. You got to point these people out when they come out, when they're making millions of dollars a year, and they want to talk about oppression. It just don't fly, baby. It just don't fly. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can also follow me on Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can go to Twitter, Culture Confederacy, @CultureConfed1 on Twitter. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. You all have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time.